So you hate big cities, and the last thing you want to do is retire to one. I'm with you on that one. I want a town that isn't too big and definitely is not in Florida. That may seem kind of specific, but really it's not. In the United States, there are plenty of solid options out there for you. In this video, I'm going to tell you about 10 solid picks for anyone that's thinking about retirement. We'll look at the real estate prices and cost of living. You know, the important things to retirees. We won't look at jobs or schools because if you're retired, you probably aren't looking for those. Maybe a part-time job, but you're not looking to start a new career in most cases. That's what we're doing. Got it? Get it? Good. Let's take a look. Number 10, Livingston, Montana. If you've ever wanted to retire somewhere with big skies and zero skyscrapers, Livingston is calling your name with a little bit of a cowboy drawl. Nestled along the Yellowstone River and backed by the Absorka Mountains. This place looks like it was built for peaceful postcards. And it kind of was. It's the sort of town where strangers will say howdy and your blood pressure drops just from walking down the street. Livingston has a good art scene, and fly fishing is basically a religion here. If you're into fishing, any kind, this is a great place to retire. You learn how to fly fish and your life will be happy. They've got a charming historic district filled with bookstores, galleries, and cafes. It's perfect for retirees who want nature at their doorstep but still enjoy the occasional local theater performance or jazz night. The bonus, no traffic jams unless you count moose crossings. Now, I really like this place for a couple different reasons. One, it's right on the river, Yellowstone River. It's amazing. Lewis and Clark came down there. Matter of fact, on the river, they have a Sacagawea Park. Now, here's the most amazing thing about their downtown. 80% of the shops aren't empty. I looked and I saw a couple, but not like some small towns that are out in the middle of nowhere, which Livingston sort of is. That tells me their economy is doing better than a lot of other small towns that I've experienced or been to or done videos on. Here's their numbers. They only have a population of 8,040 residents. That was in 2023. Their cost of living is only 5% above the national average, which is outstanding for a nice place to live. And their average home value is about $519,000. But poking around on their Zillow page, I found plenty of homes for about $300 to $350 that are decent. They just have some really, really nice homes that come with like 10 acres that are going for $1 million plus. So that kind of raises up their average, but you can find a decent home for $300 to $350,000. Number 9, Abingdon, Virginia. Tucked away in the Appalachian Highlands, Abingdon is like the Southern hospitality version of a warm blanket and a slice of pie. It's walkable, friendly, and artsy without being pretentious. The pace here is slow, on purpose. Retirees love the fresh air, quaint boutiques, and the famous Barter Theater. This town also happens to sit right next to the Virginia Creeper Trail. That's perfect for biking, walking, or just feeling like you're in a Hallmark movie. The healthcare here is solid for a small town, and that's one of the biggest problems with retirees moving to small towns. You got to make sure they got a decent hospital, or at least one within a 30-minute to an hour drive. It's one reason I always bring up Honesdale for retirees. That's in Pennsylvania. They have a giant hospital in town, and the town is not that big. This hospital just happens to cater to the entire county. This town has that situation too. They have the Johnston Memorial Hospital, which is huge for a town just over 8,000 residents. Here's their numbers. They've got a population of 8,325 currently. Their cost of living is 9% lower than the national average. And the average home value, it's about $276,000. That's not bad, especially for a nice place like this. Number 8, Decorah, Iowa. Yes, Iowa, not the cornfield part. Okay, maybe a little bit. But Decorah is an unexpectedly delightful gem. Wow, that was rough to say. But it's tucked away in the rolling hills of the driftless area. Driftless means the glaciers didn't come through here. The Norwegians did instead. Actually, the area was settled by the English first, then the Germans, and finally the Norwegians. You can still see Norwegian flags in and around the town. Even the local college gets in on this action. That's their very blue stadium with Norse proudly displayed in the end zone. Decorah is clean, safe, and friendly. Got a lot of Norwegian roots, which means there's always a festival nearby. And you might accidentally learn how to pronounce lutefisk. Retirees love Decorah for its sense of community, access to nature, and surprisingly lively art scene, thanks to Luther College. the Norse and the Blue Field. There's a top-notch co-op, a stunning river trail, and even a brewery that hosts live music. The cost of living is lower than the national average, and the town is small enough that you'll probably know your pharmacist by their first name. Decorah has a population of only 7,578 residents. That's in 2023. Their cost of living is 11% below the national average, and the average home value here is under $300,000. It's $292,000. Number 7, Mount Airy, North Carolina. Have you ever wondered what it's like to live inside an old episode of The Andy Griffith Show? Well, Mount Airy is basically that, because it was the inspiration for Mayberry. The town is decked out with small town nostalgia, but not in a corny way. It's got that rare combo of charm and comfort that makes you feel like you belong here, even if you just rolled in for the afternoon. You've got walkable streets, a historic downtown with soda fountains and antique shops, and a community that actually shows up for events like the Bluegrass Festival or Pancake Breakfast. The weather is mild, healthcare access is solid, and you could snag a nice house without taking out a second mortgage. Basically, it's retirement heaven for anyone who hates concrete jungles. Mount Airy has a population of about 10,000. Their cost of living is 9% lower than the national average, and their average home value is $193,000. Can't beat that. Number 6, Silver City, New Mexico. If you like a little edge to your peace and quiet, Silver City brings the desert calm without the Arizona sprawl. Set on the edge of the Gila National Forest, this small town offers natural beauty, sunny weather, and a fiercely independent spirit. It's artsy, rugged, and just quirky enough to keep life interesting. And stop typing. It's actually called the Gila National Forest, like after the Gila monster, which does look like Gila National Forest or Gila National Forest. But it's actually pronounced Gila National Forest. Silver City has a strong retiree community, and it's easy to see why. Affordable housing, a mild four-season climate, and a historic downtown with a surprising number of galleries and cafes. Plus, if you got an adventurous streak, hiking, bird watching, and hot springs are all nearby. It's for the kind of retiree who doesn't just want to fade quietly into a recliner. Silver City is a pretty cute small town, though. I mean, it's got this old West, Tex-Mex type vibe. It's pretty neat. Here's the numbers. Silver City only has a population of 9,500 residents, and their cost of living is actually 12% below the national average. Their average home value is about $217,000. They got a little crime. It's 37% above the national average. Don't wander around back alleys around midnight, you'll be fine. Number 5, Fairfield, Glade, Tennessee. Fairfield Glade isn't just a town, it's a full-blown retirement playground built into the hills of eastern Tennessee. It's got lakes, it's got golf courses, it's got hiking trails, and more amenities than a Florida resort, but with less humidity and 0 hurricanes. If you like the idea of living in a peaceful bubble without being totally isolated, this is your spot. The community is incredibly active, whether you're into pickleball, yoga, woodworking, or just socializing at the clubhouse. It's there for you. Plus, there's no state income tax, which is a sweet little bonus for retirees looking to stretch their dollar. It's perfect for those who want a safe, clean, community-driven life minus the stress of big city traffic and overpriced everything. The population in Fairfield Glade is 9,340 as of 2023. Their cost of living is 3% lower than the national average. The average home value here is $294,202. Number 4, Cedarburg, Wisconsin. Cedarburg looks like it was ripped out of a snow globe. Think red brick buildings, cozy shops, and a river running right through town. Located just north of Milwaukee, it's close enough to major cities for a day trip or a specialist doctor, but far enough to avoid all the other nonsense that goes on with a big city. It's the kind of place where neighbors shovel each other's sidewalks and the holiday decorations go hard. Retirees are drawn to its strong sense of community, walkability, and a calendar full of festivals. Strawberry Fest, Wine and Harvest Fest, Winter Fest. They've got a great library, a charming historic district, and enough other charm to keep your adult kids visiting longer than they probably should. It's Small Town Magic, Midwestern Edition. I got that from one of their travel websites. Small Town Magic, Midwestern Edition. Anyway, their population is only about 11,345. Well below the city cutoff. Yeah, small cities are anything over 20,000 residents. Their cost of living is a little higher. It's 9% above the national average. But it's worth it. Their homes also are a little bit higher than the national average, $513,695. So if you could afford this place, it's the one I'd choose. Number 3, Sequim, Washington. Yes, it's pronounced Sequim because the English language is clearly just winging it at this point. This little gem on the Olympic Peninsula is where you go to retire peacefully, but with a touch of Pacific Northwest flair. Sequim is known for its mild weather, especially by Washington standards, thanks to the rain shadow, an effect that keeps it drier than nearby Seattle. You get the moody Pacific Northwest vibe, but you won't have to grow moss on your back porch. Sequim is also a haven for the outdoorsy retirees who like to hike, birdwatch, kayak, or just sit in a lavender field pretending they're in a wellness commercial. The town has a strong senior community, solid healthcare options, and one of the highest per capita numbers of coffee shops for a town this size. If you like natural beauty without big city price tags or hipster overload, this one's a winner, especially if you want to live in the Pacific Northwest. We stopped for lunch here a couple of years back on the way to Port Angeles. Nice little diner there. It looked like an old 1950s diner thing. It was pretty good. I hope it's still there. They do have this really weird, giant old building in the middle of town. It's like the highest building around. It's by a couple stories. It looks like it's been sitting there since before World War II, and it doesn't look like people have been keeping up on it lately. Sequim has a population of about 7,500 residents. Their cost of living is a little high. It's 12% above the national average. And the average home value is also above the national average at $578,000. But it's a great place to live, especially if you want peace and quiet and some outdoors. Number 2, Ocean Springs, Mississippi. Ocean Springs is like the artsy cousin of Biloxi, who skipped the casinos and took up pottery instead. Sitting on the Gulf Coast, this charming town has beaches, boardwalks, and more live oak trees than most people can name. It's a coastal town that's actually peaceful, not packed with screaming spring breakers or overpriced tourist traps. Retirees love Ocean Springs for its low cost of living, mild winters, and shockingly lively art scene. The downtown area is walkable, full of galleries, and dotted with cozy cafes and seafood joints. It's also one of those towns where community events actually feel like, well, a community. If your idea of retirement includes flip-flops, local art, and being on a first-name basis with your butcher, Ocean Springs might be your dream. Ocean Springs has a population of just over 17,000 residents. Their cost of living is 4% lower than the national average, and the average home value is $263,000. You can't beat that. Sure, it's in Mississippi, but it's on the coast. And for that cheap, that's outstanding. All their stats are great. Their healthcare is good, housing, schools are decent, their crime is very low. It's actually 68% below the national average. Not bad. All right, before we get to number 1, if you're not a subscriber to this channel, we'd really appreciate it if you were. Costs you nothing, and it just helps out the channel. All right, on to number 1. And number 1, Fort Payne, Alabama. If you want mountains, music, and a mortgage that doesn't cause night sweats, Fort Payne is worth a serious look. Tucked into northeastern Alabama and surrounded by Lookout Mountain, this former sock capital of the world, yes, that's real, has reinvented itself as a haven for outdoor lovers and folks looking for small town life with big scenery. And yes, Alabama does have some mountains. These aren't as big as the Rocky Mountains, but they're mountains. Retirees enjoy hiking trails, waterfalls, and zero traffic jams. The cost of living is low, crime is minimal, and the pace of life is somewhere between porch swing and Sunday nap. There's also a small but strong music scene thanks to the band Alabama, who put Fort Payne on the map. So if you like your retirement with a side of southern charm and scenic overlooks, this one checks all the boxes. Fort Payne has a population of 14,006 residents. Their cost of living is 15% below the national average, and the average home value here is $194,399. Oh, and that minimal crime I brought up, their crime rate there is 60% lower than the national average. All right, that's today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, give the video a big thumbs up. Have a great day. Be nice to each other.